Hello, fellow hitchhikers. I am excited to share with you a little adventure that I'm on right now with a game called Pixels. Pixels is it's on the Ethereum blockchain, but it's also on the Polygon blockchain in the background. I'll explain that in just a minute. It's a farming game, and it's they're delivering lots of things fast and furious. And anyways, let's go through it. So for the month of October, they had released basically like a pre-alpha game where people could play and just grind and grind and grind and grind the entire month. And based on that, they would get various rewards, and that's an airdrop that's happening pretty soon here for those that participated in that. That ended, and about a week or so ago in November here, they released a chapter one. Chapter one is not about grinding as much, and more about playing the game. The game itself is fully free to play. You can play for free, or if you want, you can buy a land. They have the land. The land is quite expensive. You don't need the land if you're going to play it. A couple of things to be mindful of, though. Rarity is not the key thing with land. There's three types. There's sort of earth, water, and a space land. Things that are on there could be handy, like, for example, a coop. If you want to have a coop, that allows you to have a spot for your chickens. Again, you don't have to have a coop. You can just use other people's farms. There's not a problem. But the land itself can come in a standard size or large. Same with the house. So anyways, there's a few things here just to be mindful of. A windmill, which is for grinding up and making flour. The silo, which currently is just storage but doesn't really work just yet. And the size. Here you'll see the large is more common in terms of the size, and that's actually what you want. So the small are more rare, and the reason they did that is effectively for play. Most people are going to want a large land, so don't just go with a rarity sniper if you're planning to get into the land. But I would say play the game, build yourself up, get to know it first, and that's what I'm about to show you in a few minutes here. So it has a white paper. The team themselves are doxed, and Heidi is sort of the main voice. She leads all the AMAs and stuff. She's based out of somewhere in the Lower Mainland, Vancouver, Canada. Luke is based out of California, I believe. These are the two you kind of see all the time. He's kind of the founding person. That's kind of the vision, and then he's got various teams. Much of it is developed in house. They do outsource, I think, a couple things in terms of art. But you can look up all these various team members. You can look up their LinkedIn. You can see their profiles, know who they are. Yeah, in terms of the support, the Discord is very active. There's all kinds of community developed resources in terms of how long it takes to do stuff, how much energy it'll take, different strategies like that. The main limiting factor is the amount of energy that you have. You'll find that you run out of energy very quick, but that's in a way okay. It makes the game contained. It's not supposed to be an endless grinding game, but more a game that you have that you play, with 20 minutes, half hour a day. Or if you want to have, you can play more. There are ways to do it, but you have to then be super efficient. You'll notice this is the map. This is someone's pieced together all the tiles for the map, and you'll see these little obelisks kind of thing throughout. They have a cross connection with Gridcraft, which was kind of a Minecraft thing, but then Microsoft was banning NFTs, and so they're kind of creating their own lands. But Gridcraft has a collaboration. There's actually lots of collaborations in terms of cosmetics. If you have a project and you put together the sprites for the walking, sitting, I think it's 7 different motions, and you appeal to the team, they can get your assets in the game. And so it's kind of fun when we're walking around. We're going to see lots of different assets from other different projects. Let's get into the game itself. So I have my own farm. I did pick up a farm, and I can walk around within my farm, and I have my little plot here. I've got 3 different types of plants growing, so I'll harvest them here with my shears. This is what I've been making my flour out of. This is grainbow, and these are pot berries. They're the easiest things to grow. They grow in like a minute. You can make potberry pies, and this is a new thing. I haven't grown this until just today, and it is called butterberry. Don't know what you can do with that just yet. I'm slowly trying to work my way up to grumpkins so I can make a grumpkin lamp. So I have sort of a farming tile spot here. I can plant some seeds. I can water them. If I don't water them, they dry out. Some of the ones that take a longer amount of time, I'm not sure if I have to water them more than once. Still learning that. So when I bought this farm, if I look at it on OpenSea or Rarible or whatever, or Looks Rare or any of those kind of things, I'll see that it has a windmill, and I can make flour in my windmill. I'll see that it has a silo, which right now when people farm on my farm, 2% or around 2%, not of their product that they make, but the game itself issues to me a certain amount of rewards for people using my farm. So you can kind of compete against other farms to kind of get people to use it, and then you get some rewards for that. This workbench, I was able to go through. It took a ton of work to make this workbench, but here now I can make planks and things like that, but I don't have enough wood, so I'll have to grab my axe. I've placed my trees right nearby this workbench so that I can harvest the wood. Now I wish it wasn't so much clicking. I wish I just clicked once and then it would finish out the animation. Same with when I'm collecting and items from a recipe book and then making the next item. I wish I didn't have to click back in. There's a little bit too much clicking. I've filled out the feedback forms for that. And you can customize your land. A lot of the lands, they just pack everything really close together because it's more efficient for the grinding. But it's not really meant to be a grinding game, so I'm trying to create my land to have a little bit of aesthetics. Right now, this plant is acting as a fire for me. I'm envisioning this as like a little bit of a fire pit area, but in time, I'll get some more assets to place. What I'm hoping to do with this workbench is work my way up to be able to make a wooden bench. I just need some more planks, and once I have enough stuff, I'll make a little wooden bench, and maybe I'll place that over by the trail or something. Anyways, so I'm kind of having some fun with that. Inside my house, I have a stove. And now anyone, you can go to my farm. My farm number is 4848 if you so desired. You can come to my farm, or you can go to lots of people's farms. And as they build up and add things, you can use everything that they have. So for example, I don't have a chicken coop. So I need to use someone else's chicken coop in order to do eggs and that. But I don't have a chicken yet. So right now I'm trying to save myself up to get to 500 berry. Once I have 500 berry, then I'll be in a position to buy a chicken. So let's go take a look at how that works. So this is the main city center, I suppose you could say. And this is a store that's in here where I can sell my wares and buy things. So if I go to sell, I made a bunch of these potberry pies. And right now I'm still only at 294. Maybe if I sell all my flour, 374. I still have a ways to go to be able to get myself up to 500. I'm getting close though. I guess I'll just do it. Maybe I'll just sell these potberries, keep a couple to make some pies. Look at that, 719. I can buy myself a chicken. Buy a chicken, and now I can go to someone's farm. I think I have some bookmarked here. And there's lots of people that have made some really good tutorial videos, so you can see how to do all these things in more detail if you're actually playing the game. But anyways, this idea. So now I'm on someone else's farm. I can come on over here. I think this is Binary Assets, Big Crit Brits. And so I can take my chicken and I can place it on this coop. Oops. And there we go. Come back in an hour and I'll have myself an egg, and then I can use that as an ingredient. So berries, this is sort of your main, like the first token. People that did the big competition in October, there'll be lots of talk right now about getting their airdrop of all their berries, and then they have to do some basic gameplay in order to unlock the berries as they go. But it would be somewhat inflationary, and it's a soft currency that keeps going. There will be a second token that they use. It'll be a hard token. It'll be called Pixel, and that token will be hard capped. And so if this game was to grow really large and there'll be a lot more demand on it, then that pixel token will be restricted. Whereas the berry, you have that many more people playing, and it will be produced or consumed as needed. There is an auction house over here. It's not set up yet, but there will be a way for basically a marketplace for players to work with each other. And like I say, they definitely are very open to collaborations. You have all these different outfits and profile sort of projects that people are using and walking around with. And I think they definitely are looking at wanting to integrate even within the gameplay itself, like many projects right now that they're doing. Owning the land, the idea is that somehow the land will be sort of the source of a lot of these resources combined with the labor. If you do the free land, I'll show you what the free land looks like. I minted a free land just to do that little mini quest. It's really small and quite limited. It basically is just blank, but you can buy soil. Oh, my potberry, I left it so long it died. Oh, so I get seeds. So if you don't harvest them, you leave them long enough, that's a way that you could get seeds. I did not know that. I just learned something. I'll plant it back, and there we go, there's a seed. So anyways, these are some little cosmetics that I got by doing the daily quests, or not daily quests, but doing the quests. So they release new quests. You have to go find things, go to a maze, and talk to the turkey. They did that during the Thanksgiving. There's different people that need help, and you do these various tasks. It's quite fun, and it doesn't take too long to go through all of that. It is browser based, which I'm quite happy to see. It's not quite yet ready for mobile, but I don't have to use WASD. I can click and it'll just fall around, so I can see that's getting ready for just sort of holding your thumb down and having it follow, and a few other things that I can see they are getting ready for mobile, and that'll really help with growth. And I actually prefer these browser-based kind of games. I'm not downloading and installing some sort of exe. I'm not worrying about the platform that I'm using. One thing that I would love to see within this collaboration is that if in my farm I could actually have some mini games, because what happens is people run out of energy quite quick in this game. If you put in a good half hour, you're going to be out of energy, and then people are kind of stuck. You're like, what am I supposed to do? And then they feel like, oh, the game's unbalanced. But if there was games to play, like for example, I could spend my berry and play, that would be awesome. So I think in the Drunken Goose here, whatever it's called, the pub, I think these games should be the Littles. I haven't done a video yet on the Littles. I should. But if these were the Littles one-up arcade games, I think that would be a perfect collaboration. You could maybe spend berry or convert your berry into banana and be part of the CyberKongs project. I would love to see that within the public buildings, a Littles collaboration. And then on my own farm, my own personal farm, I'd love to be able to bring in my Ether Jump levels. So my own levels that I've made in Ether Jump. You come on over to my house at my farm. You can play some of the games that I've made, and maybe it cost you 2 berry, and then I have a little bit of a leaderboard, and you get a cut of some of the resources or whatever. Like, make it a bit social and incorporate some of these other projects. I think the visual graphics would match quite well, and so I'm going to try and suggest those. So this chapter 1 will go for a while, and then it'll come to an end. Because it's all blockchain, what they've done, actually, it's quite clever, is there is a custodial wallet that's created. So even if you do the free version, on the back end on Polygon blockchain, there's a wallet that's created that's connected to your account, and it holds all of your NFTs, all of the transactions, everything are created there. And then when you want to do something with it, you can withdraw it or send it to your main wallet. And what that does is really reduces gas. It makes it seamless for you as a player. You don't have to have all of that knowledge. But then if you want to do the Web3 stuff, you can. So I think that's quite a good idea. And Luke has described this as like a vertical slice. As they build out their project, the different layers, this sort of walk around, quest, farm is one piece of a vision that they have, and you can read through the white paper or watch the AMAs to get more details. But there isn't that much more details. But I like where they're going. I kind of think of Club Penguin a little bit in terms of it started with a couple mini games, but then as time went on, they were able to add things and make it more of a universe. So this is Pixels. It's all ERC20, and for the tokens and the contracts. The back end is on Polygon, and I'm having fun with this. I have no idea if I'll ever get return on my cost of the land, but that's okay. I think long term, it's nice to just have an actual stake in the project and see those rewards. So if you like this kind of game, a farming game, a quest game, a walk around and visit with the potential for some of these other collaborations, jump on in, join the fun in Pixels. Either way, thanks for coming out, and keep track of your towels, and remember, do not panic.